Hello and welcome everybody, my name is Savage and today we're going to be having a look at Ethereum. We have had a move up today due to the CPI data coming out better than expected, so it is possible we could start to see some more rallies to the upside here, but there is still that possibility we could look to break down. So these are the things we're going to be investigating in a second. But first I'd like to say thank you for watching the video. If you'd like to show your support, smash that like button. Please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and leave us a comment down below in the comment section with any sort of things that you'd like to, some feedback, or whether it's to see another altcoin video of a certain type. Just hit us up in the comment section and we'll be happy to help you out wherever we can. Okay, so let's get into the price action here. So we can see here that initially we had this 5-wave move up which we were tracking, and then we were looking for this B-wave retracement, which we've moved into this zone here quite well, and we basically moved to target out this 702 area. So from that point, what we can see here is we have this impulsive structure here. So the way I'm currently reading it is that from this low we have a 1, 2, 3 up into this high, and we're looking for this 4th wave and 5th wave. So moving back down below this point here of 1278 would invalidate this 5th wave and would make us look to this structure being a completed move. And then we would have to see whether we hold this 1240 area. Losing this 1240 area would indicate that this is just actually a corrective structure to the upside and just an ABC, and I would be looking for some downside to come in. If we do actually play out with this 5th wave here, there is an interesting price point here, this 1372. Now the reason this 1372 is if we look at this is interesting is because if we look at this this first 5-wave move here, what we'd have is a 3-wave correction to the downside here. So we could have this as a 1, 2, and then if we cross this, potentially a 4 and a 5. And if I just throw this on here quickly, I think that is mapped out from earlier, that move. So if we do cross this impulsive trigger area of 1372, what we would expect is a retracement potentially down to this 382 zone before looking for continuation to the upside. If the continuation to the upside, let me just measure this off again. So it's actually a little bit higher than where we had marked out, but potentially this could look to target out this 1410 area to this 1388 area, depending on where exactly this wave forms. So the interesting thing about this would be actually that this would then actually look to retest the bottom of this channel. So that is interesting because from this current structure, unless we have more extension within this, it doesn't seem very likely we're going to hit this 1493 area. And basically, unless we hit towards this 1493 area, we wouldn't be looking at the potential for this as being a bigger 5-wave move. And what we'd have to then look out for is, if I just remove this and I turn this on, what we could then look at is the fact that this could just be a ABC to the upside. And this is just a corrective structure and would indicate that we would look to break down and take out this low. So the 1-to-1 of this currently sits at this 1484.40, and we can see here that if we develop this as a bigger 5-wave move to the upside and potentially look to retest this channel line, basically what we could be looking at is reaching the minimum requirement, which is this 1376. Reaching this minimum requirement would potentially mean that this could be a completed correction, and instead of the C wave being all the way up here, it could complete short within this zone. If that plays out, then we could be looking at this moving down and taking out this low, though we would have to just bear in mind that we could see some additional progression after a move to the downside. And let me just get this fib on here. What we would be looking out for then, if we do move into this box, is the potential we could look to find support again at this 1224 to this 1136.68 area. if we found support in this zone, we could look to continuation to the upside. Though, should we lose this zone and start to hit these invalidation areas or form a bigger 5-wave structure to the downside, then we would be looking towards that 18, sorry, let me measure it off again because this would have pushed higher. Let me get rid of this fib for a second. Here we go. So basically what we'd be looking for is the potential that once we lose that red line area, what we would look at is the potential that we could be moving down towards this 889 area at a 1-to-1, though we need to be aware that there is potential of extension to these waves to the downside. So this would be a preliminary target. Depending on how the structure forms here, we could look for additional legs to the downside. So let's just get back into the most immediate price action here. So this move here, we can see that, and the reason this channel is interesting is because we were obeying it very well, then we lost it, we've come up, we've retested it, we've moved away from it, and now we're looking to potentially come back up and retest this. It's possible that we break back into it and then look for, like I said, the further extension by crossing this 1495. Alternatively, we could just look to test it and then break away from it again. So this is the important thing to know. It is also possible that what we could have is this is an A, B, C and an X wave here, and then once we form this 5-wave move, there is a potential that we could look to retrace back to the downside and maintain this 1218 area, but find support somewhere within this 1303 to this 1253 area. If that happens, then what we could potentially have is a bigger A, B and a C wave like this, and then all of this wrapped up into one move would just become a W, X and a Y. So that will be the important thing to see. Once, if we don't invalidate this 5th wave and we move up and we look to make this bigger 5-wave move, then I would be looking to see whether we find support here. If we lose this 1218 area though, I would be looking at it more as a completed move here, and then we'd look to that support zone that we mentioned previously, slightly lower. But as soon as we lose this 1075 area, I think we're going to be going further down. With this move, it is also possible, should we fail to develop into this green 5-wave move here, that what we could have if we do push above that minimum area that we're talking about, that 618 area, which is just above this blue line basically, what we could be looking at is just a move that that does something like this and then looks to break down. So we could look to just literally retest it and break away. So we just need to be aware of that fact. And with the stochastics, we can see if we bring them up, the 4-hourly is overbought, the 8-hourly still got some room, but the daily is just entering overbought as well. The weekly is heading upwards, but for the most part, I think there is some potential to see some downward price action come in here. So those are the things that I'm watching, and I hope you found this video useful. If you did, please smash that like button, hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed, and turn on that bell notification so you can keep up to date with all the videos that we post. I hope everyone has a great rest of the day, and until we meet in the next video, keep safe out there, everybody.